All right, tonight's homework's on how to edit and revise. As we're finishing our career project, we're working towards trying to figure out how to put all of our research from last week into our final essay and give the answer to the question, what is the career I'm choosing for my future, and how do I plan to get there? So at the end of this presentation, you're going to know some of the basics of editing and revising an essay. First of all, you have to look at the entire essay. Your teacher is not your editor. Please remember that. So you have to find all of your little mistakes. And believe it or not, there is a difference between editing and revising. So first of all, editing looks at grammar mistakes, spelling errors, all those little tiny mistakes that, quite frankly, I'm not going to have enough time to circle all of those. I am not your editor. In order for me to give you proper feedback to make you a better writer, I can't edit every single mistake I find on your paper. So you have to be in charge of that. And thankfully for this first essay, we are typing it. So you can use spell check and grammar check to help you get a better edited paper. Revising, though, actually looks at your sentence structure and your organization. And it kind of forces you to rewrite whole sentences, maybe even whole paragraphs, and try to make the piece as best as it possibly can be. So editing is looking at small minor errors. Revising is looking at whole sentences and paragraph structure. Do I need this? Do I need to add something? And forcing you to rewrite whole sections. So as far as your checklist for editing, you really need to make sure that your sentences begin with capital letters. They have the correct ending punctuation. Your sentences are complete or not complete run-ons. Your paragraph should be indented. Spelling should be as correct as you can possibly make it. At this point, since we are typing this final essay, there is no excuse for you to leave spelling errors. You should be proofreading, you should be using spell checker, and turning in as close to a perfect of paper as you possibly can. You need to make sure that you proofread for unnecessary words or phrases or things that you've typed a couple of times and don't need to be there. You need to make sure verb tenses are correct. When we talk and when we write, we wouldn't say something like, I am went to the store in 15 minutes. Instead, it should be something like, I am going to the store in 15 minutes. So you need to be careful and make sure that your verb tense is always correct. Your intro should be clear. You're telling the main idea of the story in your intro. Your conclusion should restate the main idea and support it throughout the paper. And then you also should be checking to make sure that your body has 3 or more main ideas that are clear and have a lot of supporting details. Basically, if you followed along with me in class on Monday and we did that T-chart plan, you should have more than enough supporting details for every main idea. That's kind of the important part of the research and why I asked you to do the research. Now, for revision, you're looking for an entirely different set of things. You should be making sure that you wrote exactly what you wanted to write. I'm asking for you to explain for this essay what career path you have chosen and how you plan to get there, high school and beyond. So, is your paper focused? Did you tell me about your interest profile or survey? Did you tell me what career you chose and all the details that go along with that? Did you tell me about your high school plan? Did you tell me about college, or if you're not going to go to college, if you're planning on going to vocational school or something, did you tell me about how you plan to get there for that? You should be looking to see if your writing is clear, if your opening is strong and captures the reader's attention. If it doesn't, if your opening isn't, your intro doesn't catch my attention, if you've missed a hook, for example, what should you do? If you're revising, you're going back and you're adding in a sentence. Editing is, again, just looking for small minor errors. Revising is adding sentences or taking out sentences, completely changing the actual organization of your paper. Are your main ideas supported with details from the research? Does your conclusion restate the topic and summary of the highlights? Is all your information needed? Are there maybe some sentences or paragraphs that I can cut completely? After you've typed your entire paper and you're looking, or maybe not even the typing, maybe you're looking at your rough draft and you see that you've ended up with this 8-paragraph essay because you've got your intro, you did the interest paragraph, you did the career paragraph, you did a paragraph on high school planning, and you did a couple paragraphs on colleges that you've selected, and then you've got your conclusion and you just think it's too long, it's too detailed. Maybe you could go back and take out the interest paragraph. That's revision. You're taking out an entire paragraph because you quite frankly think that it's not needed. That is a part of the revision process that takes a little bit of a higher level skill because you're actually cutting things or rearranging things instead of just making small, tiny edits? Are there maybe places in your paper that you need to expand or explain your ideas better? Or are all of your paragraphs unified? Did they flow from one thing to another? Did you use transitions, for example? These are all major points of revision, and hopefully you realize that editing is just small, minor errors, and revision is looking at the bigger picture, okay? On Wednesday in class, I'd like to talk to you a little bit about a paragraph analysis to show you a simple strategy on how to really go sentence by sentence in a paragraph and look at your sentence structure, which I think is something a lot of us need to work on. If I've written on any of your papers so far, you're writing in simple sentences. You really need to focus on your sentence structure.